Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome back. It is time for August 12 month of Christmas card, and when I was pulling out stuff for my use it or lose it video this month, I found these two images stamped and they're embossed. One's on watercolor paper and one's on regular cardstock. And I thought, let's make something using these guys. Now, I think what I want to do is watercolor paint this using my metallic paints. So let me get those out. And let's go with this one right here. Let's add a little water, which will get it activated. Woo! Craft-a-lanch there. I just knocked over a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little water and grab a paintbrush and paint the ornament. And I'm gonna leave the snowflake alone, and then I think I'm gonna use the white metallic paint to paint the snowflake. You know what, let's zoom in so you can actually see me painting. Okay, let me clean off my brush. And the nice thing about having embossed this is the embossing creates like a dam so that you are less likely to get the paint where you don't want it. And actually I'm seeing a spot that I missed. Over here. And there are a few spots where I got it on like the embossing, and if it doesn't come off on its own, like just move off it because the emboss resists stuff. What I can do is come in with a damp towel, and I'm looking at this and my eyesight's not so great. There are definitely a few spots that I missed looking close up at it, so let's go back in and make sure we get all of the spots. Okay, now I got some, because I was a little overzealous over here in where I don't want it. It's still on screen, okay. So I'm just gonna come in with a damp brush, re-wet that, and then grab a towel and tap it off, because since this is a watercolor, you can remove it. All right, so there's the ornament. Let's go in and do white on the snowflake part. And it's just to give it that lovely sparkle that I don't know how well is showing up on camera, but it's got some sparkle. So I'm just gonna go in . And I'm gonna go back and fix a few spots because the snowflake's so delicate. It's a little hard to stay in the lines, but I can just go back over any area where it got a little out of control with the red. Let's just do that, which should lift some off where there's embossing. All right, and I'm just going to do some gold for the topper. I think I'm going to use this gold over here. All right, that's done. I am gonna go see what a dog's up to because he's barking, and I'll be right back. All right, so I went hunting through my stash to find something to serve as a card base for this, and I think I'm gonna use, this was one of my recent alcohol ink play videos where I did the alcohol lift on it and it doesn't show up very well. So I'm going to use that as the background because it pops nicely. And then I pulled from my stash, I'm going to put some gold ribbon behind and have this on there. But I also think I'm going to do a gold around the edge of this piece. Now, I was originally thinking I'd, die cut this shape out again from this and do it as like an inlay. But I realized I think I cut this out using my silhouette, not a die, because I can't find that die. And I also want to add like a string going up with a pen. So let's grab, it's a Tombow Mono drawing pen, and I'm just gonna draw in a line so it looks like it's attached to something and put a little loop. Ooh, let's try and be neater with doing our loop. There we go. Let's pull over our piece. Let's add our ribbon. Let's cut that off. Add a little glue. Normally I'd pull out my art glitter glue, but this should be fine on the card. And I'm gonna try and figure out center-ish. That should be about center. I'm just gonna add a little glue to this side of our ribbon. Put it down center-ish. Wrap that under and wrap that under. Whoop. Add a little more glue. And in case you didn't see the alcohol ink videos, I'll leave links down below. And this was done using Everglade, Citrus, and Meadow, if you wanted to know what colors I used to create that background. And we're just gonna glue this down. And that should, once it's dry, disappear because it should dry clear, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm going to be very cranky about that. And I'm going to grab my gold pen and scratch pad to make sure my gold pen is writing. And go around the edge with the gold pen. And that just adds a little bit extra to the edges. I'm gonna just double check and make sure I've got all of the edges done well. Kind of doing it this way to get the like side part of it. That's a little bit better. And now we're just gonna glue it on. So there's one card done. And I did have a bit of a think about the other piece, and I went ahead and I colored it and fussy cut it out, and I'm noticing I missed some spots. So let's bring our paper over and just go around it with a black pen so that any white areas, and actually, interestingly enough, it will probably work better going this way. Now, I ended up going and having a rummage around in my inked backgrounds that I have. And I pulled out, this was from my Distress Ink Mystery Color Challenge episode. I will leave a link to that one down below. If you didn't see that one, what I did was I pulled colors out of a cup of Distress inks and had to play with them to kind of get myself out of the box I tend to be in with my color choices with Distress inks. And this is Evergreen Bough and Chipped Sapphire, and I really like how the color combo worked. But, you know, the ornament doesn't really stand out against it. So I remembered I picked up from Michael's last year the pack of Snowflake Vellum. So that kind of tamps down the background, the inked background, and now our ornament pops, but I feel like one ornament's not enough. So what I need to do, and I'm gonna go hunt out, I think I have, this is a set of stamps, I think by Inkadinkado. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll double check. But there are other ornaments in the set, so I think I need to do, I think 3 would work great on here, and we'll do that. And what I'm gonna do for the vellum, instead of gluing, because then you end up seeing the glue, like vellum is difficult when it comes to gluing, is I'm gonna use brads in the corners to attach it. So I need to go get all that stuff for doing that, but I just thought I'd let you know that's what we're gonna do with this one, and we'll have 2 more cards to add to our stash. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stamped the 2 of the other stamps from the set, and I was right, it's by Inkadinkado. I pulled out some brads for attaching the vellum, and they're a clear gem, and I don't know how well the distinction's showing up on camera. But what I did is I took a Copic marker and I colored the gem. So I just grabbed B24 because that's the one I grabbed. And I just went all over it with my alcohol marker. So I've said this before in videos, but in case you're new, you don't have to buy all the colors if you have some alcohol-based markers. Now I've got Copics because I do Copic coloring, but if you've got a colored pack of Bics or Sharpies, those work as well. And in fact, that's what I used to use, was I had a whole collection of Bic markers, but they've all, just about all dried up since. And instead of buying a new pack, I just use my alcohol ink markers. And let's see, I'm gonna use my Crocodile to poke holes in all 4 corners through both of our layers. In fact, let's do this. Line it up and grab a paper clip to hold it in place while I am doing this. And I'm just gonna go in and let's see, let's adjust a little bit more. That should work. This way I can get it kind of mostly lined up right, and my vellum is a little bit bigger than the piece underneath, so what I may end up doing is just trimming it off when we go to add it on. So now I'm going to use these brads. And I've had these in my stash forever. I have no idea where I got them. Probably Michael's years and years and years and years and years ago. I'm just turning the feet so that they won't stick out. All right, now I'm gonna grab some glue and glue my ornaments on. And I'm gonna do that guy first. And I've pulled out some ribbon that I'm gonna use as like the attachment for our ornaments so that they're not just hanging out in space. So actually let's do that. Let's go. And what I'm gonna do with the ribbon is wrap it around both layers. So I'm gonna add some glue. Put that on like that. And then wrap it over the top so it's underneath like that. And then attach my ornament. And I'm debating, I really don't want to tie little fussy bows to go on these, but I really think they probably need little fussy bows to go on the top. Got our first ornament on. Our second ornament will go like so. I was thinking of doing it like that, but now I think I kind of like it up there better. I think that's what we're gonna do. I didn't want those straight on the same level with each other, so that's why I was adjusting it a little higher. So there we go. Yeah, I definitely think it needs little bows. All right, I'm debating whether some baker's twine wouldn't be better, but I don't know that it'll work color-wise. So I'm gonna pull out my Bow Easy and make some bows. This is one of those things that always takes me a minute to remember how to use it. You know, I honestly I'm not loving the bow. I think it's because it's too bulky. It needs to be like a thin bow. You know what? I know what might work. This might work for doing a bow. What I'm gonna do first is glue the strands together. Just kind of do skinny little bow. Oof. Come on. Yep, I like that better. I do not want it fraying out like it has a tendency to do, and I'm definitely shortening the legs on it. So we're gonna put some glue here and here. Then we're gonna trim the legs short and whoop, whoop. Pop it on. All right, I'm gonna leave that to sit for a sec. I'm gonna do the other 2 bows, and actually let's go ahead and attach it to the card base, and then I'll do the other 2 bows off camera because I don't think you need to see me fiddling to tie a bow in the silver thread. Uh-oh, my bow fell off. I think I may need to pull out the fabric tack for that. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of the bows and I'll be back and I'll show you what it looks like all finished. Okay, so I got our little bows all glued on. So we've got that card all finished. And I noticed the line of glue that was showing wasn't coming, like disappearing. So I ended up gluing an extra piece of ribbon over top to hide that because yeah, I wasn't happy about that. But there are 2 cards and this was pretty much a shop in my stash kind of Christmas card. I pulled out these guys who have been in my stash waiting to get used for I don't know how long. This is a fairly recent edition. This has been in my stash since last Christmas. The piece underneath since I think sometime last year. So, and the ribbons are from my stash as well. So don't be afraid to hunt through the stuff you have and figure out a good use for it if it's been sitting around for a while. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me and happy crafting.